That sample, by the way, is crazy.
That's PA Dre, yeah. That's off the project I did with PA Dre. That's what I'm saying. The production more East Coast driven.
That's right up my way.
Me too, but like I like to be well rounded, right. So it's like putting me in that lane. I hope I don't get stuck there, but
it's hard not to get out of that lane. I'll tell you that.
Yeah. Yeah, ain't nobody doing this on the West Coast.
No, not at all. I mean, there's a few.
There's a few, but not like that.
Yeah.
That shit crazy.
That's dope. And this was live at an event, right?
This was a couple months ago. Skylit did a little something.
Shout out to Colt.
Yeah. And it was like the first show out the house. I had full Scully mask on and shit. Like, not smoking with nobody and shit.
Yeah.
Anti-social and shit. Yeah. See Santana DJing with the mask on.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? We was super skeptical. I ain't gonna lie.
Nah, rightfully so though.
Yeah. I mean, but
right there too.
Honestly, I mean, we feel like we already had it though. Like,
yeah, same.
I got sick, then Santana got sick, Tim Pilot got sick, and then we was all three straight after that.
Yeah.
But it was some fucked up shit, I ain't gonna lie.
No, I feel you.
I got sick around the Super Bowl. So this is the thing, the Niners, it was when the Niners went to the Super Bowl. Right. I was supposed to go to the championship game. I had tickets.
Right.
I started feeling sick Thursday. Friday night I felt better, so I'm like, cool, the game Saturday, I'll be straight. I woke up Saturday with a fever and couldn't do shit. Basically had to sell my tickets that day.
Fuck.
And I'm like a diehard Niner fan, so if it was anything like that,
and at the Super Bowl, huh?
That was championship game. Woo. Yeah. I was sick all the way. I can
only imagine.
Right, but I was sick from then all the way until the Super Bowl. Because I remember watching, that's 2 weeks later, the Super Bowl. I watched it at the crib. I didn't even go to no parties anymore.
Right.
Damn.
I went and found the documentary.
Good job.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
That shit real though. Like so it's just bringing some light to some of the shit that people may not be aware of as well.
Try to dig it under the rug.
Not trying to be on some conspiracy shit, but like just stating facts. That's what I tried to do with the song for real, was just like state facts for real. You know what I'm saying? Like, not just do a bunch of conspiracy fucking niggas jumping off the wall or jumping off the roof and shit like that, but like actually state real events and documented shit that has actually happened. And that's what I did with the I Shot Bill Gates shit. Like I just put documented events within the timeline, you know what I'm saying? And then just painted a story with it, you know what I'm saying?
So with all that being said, especially in the song, where do you see things headed, and how do you think it even got to this point in the first place?
It's funny because I mean, if you listen to the song, I kind of told you where it was going, and it's already happening. You already kind of seeing it. You saw, I dropped that song like pretty much like right when the pandemic started, I want to say, but I recorded Bill Gates before the pandemic happened. I recorded Bill Gates before the pandemic happened, and then I recorded Event 201 a little after it started, which is a little more descriptive than Bill Gates. It's another song off the project, but I just kind of seen where it was going because everybody was talking about it before it happened. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Everybody was talking about it was coming. It was coming.
Can't stop the $1 trillion plan.
Yeah, no, you can't stop the money play. And that's the thing too, is if you follow the money, you can find out a lot about this nation. Start following the money, you know, even if it's as simple as you just looking up. A lot of people have Chase Bank. Chase Bank is JP Morgan. If you look up the Morgan story, it's crazy.
It made bricks disappear, yo.
So it's like, so like their whole motto is like hide in plain sight. So they do a lot of shit in plain sight for you to see. It's just a lot of people don't take heed to it. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, and then by that, it's like we're getting public consent because they're showing you, right? It's like hey, I'm gonna punch you in the face, and then when you get punched in the face, it's like,
you can't believe it.
Yeah, but it's like, I told you for 20 years I was gonna do it.
Right, but they didn't know when you was gonna do it, and that's
Right.
that's where they always win. It's like they know that they know how to execute, even if their execution is off a little bit, like 9/11. You know what I'm saying? Execution sometimes be off.
Right.
Like with the World Trade Center 7, that shit just free fell. Nothing
Yeah.
hit it.
Yeah.
So that shit was off, timing wise. So sometimes they be a little off with the shit that they do, but at the same time they execute every time. Don't nobody stop the movement. Cause it's a money play. That's the thing. When it's a lot of money on the line, it's a lot of signatures that's gonna get signed, and a lot of laws and things that's gonna get passed, and a lot of different things like that. But just like protesting and talking about it, I get it. You know what I'm saying? And everybody should be able to voice their opinion, but that's not really gonna do nothing.
Right.
It's got to be actionized. You know what I mean?
Well, because the protest is like, it's protesting what's already going on instead of like.
Now, if you're gonna protest and do what they did in Seattle or Portland, you know what I mean, where they actually like took over a portion of the city and shit and like really shut the shit down for real.
Right.
That's like action though. You know what I'm saying? Like, there's really not a lot of action going on. And when there is action going on, it gets shut down. The fires get put out rather quickly. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, and they're pretty good at using the media to switch the storyline as quickly as they'd like it to, right?
Yeah, because they own the media at that. You got to look at somebody like Rupert Murdoch. Rupert Murdoch owns the media if you look at it. News Corp, we can go down the line. New York Times, all of this shit is owned by one person.
Right.
And his father owned it before that. So this is like bloodline shit. You know what I'm saying? This is shit they've been doing since the Great Depression and even before that. You know what I'm saying? But using the media and the newspapers and different things like that to paint a different narrative than what's going on. You know what I'm saying? That's how they was able to get everybody to come out their stocks. They started putting shit in the newspaper that the stock market was going to crash, even though it didn't.
Right.
Everybody cashed in on all their bonds and stocks, you know what I'm saying? And then it was all bought. By who? By the Rothschilds, you know what I'm saying? And then they lineage started. But you just got to look at it like that. And he even said in a statement, I think it was Jacob Rothschild, if I'm not mistaken, but he said, give me the media and I don't need a president or I don't need law. Like he was basically saying, like, if you give me control of the media, I don't need nothing else. You know what I'm saying?
That with
like
the banks, right?
yeah, exactly. Like I could pretty much do anything as long as I'm controlling media. And it still reigns to this day. Media's just changed now. Social media, you know what I'm saying?
Right.
And
More so, yeah.
yeah, it's no longer, you know, when we were kids, it was like billboards and all of that. All of that's going out of style. Like putting up a billboard or even having a department store at this point. Everybody orders off Amazon, different things like that. You see Walmart's closing and certain shit like that because
Especially
people
after
ain't
COVID.
shopping no more. You know what I'm saying? People just, I don't shop at malls. I don't know about other people, but
Yeah, no, I don't.
you know what I'm saying? It's just one of those things, like you don't really need those things anymore due to what the climate of everything is now.
Yeah.
Now it's almost better to just have a warehouse, have a clothing line, but have a warehouse and maybe one flagship store if you want, like on some like,
It's not even
you know, you're
necessary.
visiting LA, we do have a flagship store in LA, but it's not worth like having a diamond store in Sac and a diamond store in Frisco and one in New York. Like it's not really worth that no more. You know what I'm saying? That's why you see a lot of that shit closing. You see a lot of Macy's closing, a lot of those different things closing. You know what I mean? And it's gonna be the same with the billboards in a minute. All of them signs is gonna come down because it's gonna be pointless. Nobody's looking up, they looking down. You know what I'm saying? So what's the point? You know what I mean?
That's a perfect analogy too, because really all you gotta do is look up to see what's going on, right?
But everybody looking down.
Their phones.
Well, that's the thing, right? Like, there's a lot of shit going on, but nobody sees it because they're in their phone.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Just like some dramatic shit. But shit like that happens, you know? Like, so many people are in their phone, like, you don't even know what's going on until a gun is in your face. You don't even see how it got pulled out or how they came on the train or however it happened. You're just so focused on your shit that you don't know until something taps you or something alerts you of what's going on. And just a heightened sense of awareness is gone. You know what I mean? People don't really have no sense of awareness.
No, not at all. And you know, multiple reasons for it, but you know, even just the way we're brought up in school, we're not taught to be critical thinkers. I don't think that was ever really the case. It's just who could be the best worker, who could follow directions the best, right? Who could get in line the best? Who could listen to all the bells and make sure they're at the right spot on time? And then when you, I don't know, just the way they have that shit set up, just like it would be a prison, right? They don't think much of us.
For sure, that teaches us to be chattel, you know, and chattel is just another word for slaves. Right. That's just one of the things that they've always pushed. Like, we always gonna be chattel and collateral. That's what they use us as, is collateral. That's why collateral damage exists. But we're collateral, you know what I'm saying? Your Social Security, the money that you put in the bank, all of that is being used by them. Yeah. You can't just go, like if you got over $250K in the bank, you can't just go withdraw that. You probably can't even go withdraw $25K at this point. If you went to your account and you had 50, 60K in it and you went to the bank right now and told them to give you $25K cash, they're gonna tell you they gotta order it.
Yeah, they're not gonna give it to you right then and there.
So what's the point, you know what I'm saying?
Right. Yeah, just for it to disappear anyway.
They're using your money, yeah, because they're able, like, rather than you making the interest on it and everything like that, they making the interest off of it. That's why they don't like high-risk accounts. That's why they don't like accounts that go into negative and accounts that do, you know, dramatic changes, because they can't depend on that money when they putting it on the market. That's why you turn into a risk. That's why banks will want to close your account, different things like that, because they don't see your money as being usable to them the way that they want to use it. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, it's just crazy times, man.
It's really easy to just dwell on all the shit that's going bad, right?
Right.
But that's not really the solution either. The solution really is, what are the solutions to it? Like, really brainstorming and like, all right, well, if we can't really depend on their system, we have to create our own, right? And what does that even look like?
I don't know. It's hard right now because everything's a reality TV show.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying, at this point? From even the stuff that's going on in the Capitol and all of that. You know what I mean? You're seeing senators knock on governors' doors and act like they doing stuff and getting carried out. It's all like a big reality TV show.
Yeah, it's theater.
So it's hard to differentiate real world from exercise, as they would say, because a lot of this shit is exercise. You know what I'm saying? But it look real world.
Yeah, especially with what they're doing now. You know, like, we got this court case that's the decision's supposed to be out on Friday with over in Minnesota and that cop.
But look what they did to distract you from that.
I'm saying, right? No, I mean, not only is it a distraction, but it's almost like, oh, there's this little ember going on. We got hella gasoline. We're just going to throw on it. And then more shit's going to happen where it's just fueling shit up to where, you know, people are already pissed off now, right? Like, you see everyone posting about it.
Right.
And it's only a couple more days before it's really going to be like,
But
they're letting them free.
But honestly, that's what they've always wanted. They've been trying to push a race war for the longest. That's really why Trump became president. Right. He became president to upset the Latinos, to upset the blacks, to upset different races. They was trying to make that shit happen in that 4-year term. So since that didn't work all the way how they wanted it to, they're gonna continue to do other shit until it sparks off. Because once it sparks off, that's when they're able to change laws and change everything. Just look at what they did in a year's time. Nobody would have thought in 2019 that they would have been able to shut down not only one country, which is one of the most powerful countries, but every country, though, for months at a time. You know what I'm saying? That's crazy. A whole year. I would have never thought they could do that.
The Great Reset.
Right. Yeah. They did it, though. You know what I'm saying? And that took money. That takes a lot of money to do some shit like that. To shut down multiple countries at a time, that takes money. That's not free. They can't just because they have power be like, all right, turn it off. Nah, that shit took bread. You know what I'm saying?
A lot of it.
It took a lot of bread. It took a lot of global bread, though, which lets you know that they all on one accord. Because if they was able to get on one accord for the pandemic, that means they've been on one accord. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I mean, all right, so that being said, it could spiral into a whole crazy conversation. But with that, like, oh man, even when they right?
You but go down the rabbit hole real quick.
Yeah.
But like, even shit, since after World War II, when Admiral Richard Byrd went to Antarctica and discovered what was exploring out there, and it was funded through the Rothschilds funded the first 2 exploration trips out there.
Then they closed it down.
Well, then the Navy funded the 3rd one, and
But who funds the Navy though?
Right, and then right after they got to Antarctica, there was this whole global agreement basically between Japan and Russia and China and America and Germany and all these other nations. Like, oh no, Antarctica is going to be a research center.
It's off limits.
Can't go there.
Right, and you could. People say you could go there today, which you can't. Like
can't.
you have to.
Try and book a flight on your phone right now.
Right, yeah, you got to pay like $2,000 just to apply to go out there, and they never accept
I'm just
that.
saying, like, you're not going.
No.
There's,
No way.
you're not going.
Right, yeah. So like,
They even make up stories and shit like, yeah, if you try to go by boat, you'll just fall off. You'll just go into the triangle and die. People have tried before. Like, they try to deter you from going by any means. You know what I'm saying?
yeah, it's because they know that they work really hard to put out this other story to get everyone to believe it, right? So
When one person owns the media, that's easy.
Yeah.
You only got to grease one palm, and then he greases everybody else.
yeah, and then if we're all going off this false narrative and been going off a false narrative for generations, where even the history of America and how, you know, like it wasn't savages that were here. There was thriving civilizations here in America. There's the Cahokians. There's
It's a lot.
There's so many, you know, and the fact that San Francisco and Los Angeles and places like Chicago and Tampa Bay, all over the United States, I mean, we could get into Mexico and Central America too, but even the United States, there's been cities here that have existed way prior to then when they claim it did.
Yeah.
Right, so it's like, all right, well, if we don't even know the history here, and we definitely don't know the history of man, it's like they could lead us anywhere.
Yeah. Especially when the Rothschilds owned the education.
Yeah.
And what they did with all that.
Yeah, I know they put so much work into even devising that curriculum.
But that's the thing, like, we're not even getting that curriculum though. Like, the curriculum they devise for us is trash. Like, their real curriculum is like the Waldorf school and all of that. Like the shit that's like $2K a month. Yeah, $5K a month. You know what I mean? They call them non-technological schools. They don't even do no tech shit there. They teach these kids actual skills. You know what I'm saying? But you gotta, everything costs money. You know what I mean? If you wanna send your kid to a good school out here, like when my son was born, when he turned 3, 4, and it was time to go to preschool, I sent him to Montessori school. It was more expensive. It was like $1,500 a month, but it's the right concept because it's they have stations set up, right? And if you don't like one station as a kid, you go to another station. But the whole shit is you don't never stop. It's just you figuring out what you like to do.
Right.
Which is kind of like life. When people get older, they look for jobs. If you don't like that job, you get another one, and vice versa. You know what I'm saying? So it's kind of teaching him real life skills as a kid. And now that he's in 3rd grade, he's way more advanced than the kids in his class. You know what I mean? They're already trying to test him for GATE and do all of that extra stuff. But it's just,
there we go.
It's just being a free thinker, though. You know what I'm saying? He's
Yeah.
not really influenced by a lot of shit.
Right.
He's able to, like, if I ask him something, he really think about it for a second, and then he'll say his answer. He don't just go with the mode. You know what I'm saying?
Hey, that comes from you though, because you're the first
Right.
teacher.
Got to.
Right.
Yeah. That's part of it too, though. It costs money, man. If you want to do anything in this world, they tell you it don't, but it do. It costs money.
But you know what?
That's what it comes down to.
What I really appreciate though is that you're even trying to highlight that in your music, because so many people, out of fear of being outcasted or whatever it is, being labeled a pariah or, you know, crazy even, that's the easiest way to dismiss someone, right? Just like how
It
Dave
is.
Chappelle would say.
And honestly, that's why I don't get into like there's a lot more that I know or that I look into, but I didn't really get into a lot of that shit. I try to just really go off facts. Like I said, when I drop shit, I try to just go off facts, shit that you could actually look up and be like, all right, cool, that did happen. Even if you didn't know before listening to it, you know what I mean? You're able to go look and see, you know what I mean, a documented event versus just conspiracy. Because it's one thing to just have conspiracies, or like he was saying earlier, like go down the rabbit hole of everything, and it's another thing to just kind of know what's going on, but just touch on the shit that's out there for people to look into.
Right.
Because a lot of people don't even know the surface information, you know what I mean?
Right.
A lot of people don't even know the story, like the JP Morgan and Chase shit, which is real surface, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So just trying to educate that way too. You kind of gotta, you know, it's kind of like it's kind of like when your teacher told you to write a story, you know what I mean? You got to do the intro, you got to do the body, you got to do the conclusion,
Right.
and then you got to explain the story as if nobody's ever read it before.
Right.
So it's kind of like that concept with the music too, though. You know what I'm saying? Or at least with my music, I try to take something and then I'm going to explain it as if somebody doesn't know anything about it. versus assuming they already know. You know what I'm
Right.
saying?
No, exactly that, because that's how you could get them to follow you. You know, like the way I saw that song, I saw it as a beacon, because everything you were talking about, you know, we were talking about on Twitter, but it's like, man, like,
Yeah.
we spent years looking at this, all this stuff already. So to see that, I just saw it as like, all right, cool. Like I'm not as crazy as I sometimes think I am, because it is facts, right? Like at the end of the day, like.
And a lot of people just don't want to talk about it for real. You know what I'm saying?
But
Like,
you know,
It's a lot of uncomfortable conversations. But
Yeah.
real
Right.
facts.
there
You
you
know
go.
what I
It's a
mean?
lot. It's a lot of uncomfortable conversations. It's not fun. You know what I'm saying?
nah, I mean, I think the fun part out of it though is like trying to figure out like, all right, well, you know, this is reality in a sense. Like it is what it is. So how do we make the best out of it? Because it's not illusion or delusion that's gonna determine the future, but it's reality.
It's reality. I mean, really, more people know, like, say when I dropped Bill Gates, I'm sure more people feel how I feel now than they did when I dropped it, because they didn't
Right.
know what was going on.
Right.
So just to see that. So even if somebody was to go back and listen now, like, oh, okay, damn, he was telling us all this shit was going to happen before it happened.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Educational purposes. But not everybody want to be educated at the same time, too. So sometimes you got to put the medicine in a candy wrapper, so to speak.
That's
You
a
know
good
what
way
I'm
to put
saying?
it.
You can't just give, you know what I mean? The kids don't want medicine.
Right.
But the
Yeah.
way I like to see it is like,
Yeah, put it in a nice little candy wrapper sometimes.
there's already plenty of people though who I think are willing to have this conversation, right?
Yeah.
And
More than there was 10 years ago.
right, and that's what I like to fish for, right? Is I don't know, it takes a lot of work to try to get someone up to speed versus all right, we're already at the same level. Let's continue this.
Let's continue. Yeah, indeed. But the education process, I love it though. Like I've talked to everybody from like, 56, 60-year-old scholars that had no idea that, what was going on, to just regular, street cats from my neighborhood that was just like, oh, what? That's going on? And then really interested in the information. And to have them come back and give me information is like, okay, you really looking
Right.
into it. You know what I'm saying? And I would rather have the youngins looking into that than looking at each other. You know what I'm saying?
Can I ask a question right quick?
Please.
Can I ask a question?
Definitely.
So,
Hold on. Let me give you a mic.
all right, let me put because you need to hear me.
Yeah, too good to.
I when he told me, well, when Marc told me, well, who was coming, so I kind of looked you up a little bit and
Yeah.
listened to some more of your music. So, what, in your opinion, though, what do you think the catalyst is for people to actually start listening? Because it's like a gradual listen. But people listen for a little bit, then the energy's gone. Because the movement's not there. Because there isn't enough people talking about it. Because the moment somebody talks about it, you're perceived as crazy or
Indeed.
above the rim a little bit.
Yeah.
So what do you think, in your opinion, with your music and the level or style of music that you have and the lyrics that you put out there? What do you think the catalyst is to people to move as one, as opposed to just incremental changes that don't necessarily stick around?
Yeah. That's a good one. I mean, honestly, I think it's just about having a balance for real too, and just not being one way. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't wake up and listen to the same style of music every day. Like, sometimes I wanted, like even as a kid, sometimes I wanted to hear Mobb Deep, sometimes I wanted to hear Tupac, sometimes I wanted to hear Biggie, sometimes I wanted to hear some party shit, like the Loonies, like different shit. So I think if everybody's able to kind of like put perceptions to the side and just bring facts to the table, that things will start transcending, and with the type of art that I do, like he was saying, there's starting to be more people. Like, years ago, there was only like, I would say probably like 5 or 6 artists that was heavy on it. Necro, what's Santana's favorite rapper? I forget. But he be on that shit too. Immortal Technique. So there's, Talib Kweli. There's some other artists that definitely, KRS-One has always been a teacher. You know what I'm saying? And I mean, even like Prodigy from Mobb Deep.
Oh, one of the
Prodigy
most
from
prolific
Mobb Deep, like even though he did a lot of the other shit, he always talked about what was going on with government shit
The name
like
of his last album
politics
is Hegelian Dialectic.
Right, and that's like when he fully went in. But if you go back even 15 years ago, you know, Illuminati got my mind, soul, and my body. He been saying that shit forever. You know what I'm saying? To the point where Jay-Z sampled this shit. You know what I mean? If you think Jay-Z first album is him sampling Prodigy talking about that shit, Jay-Z first album gotta be over 20 years old.
Yeah.
So it's been talked about. I just think no artists in this era are talking about it, and I think that's kind of where I come in at. You know what I'm saying? There's really no artist in my bracket that's talking about that shit. They talking about killing each other. You know what I'm saying? Or how many pills they popped, or you know what I'm saying? How many ops they seen and turning niggas to a pack and everything else. So the music is just not really the same. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Yeah, you got a point.
Especially here, you know what I'm saying? Being in Sacramento.
Especially.
If you're not really even doing that style of music, a lot of people won't even pay attention to what you're doing. If
That's
you're not
true.
doing like the Brisk, the Mozzie, the Lavish D type shit, where you sliding on the ops and doing all that, or even are like that Detroit style shit everybody doing right now. If you're not doing that, a lot of motherfuckers ain't even gonna listen to you right now. You know what I'm saying? So to be able to move around still with all that going on is a blessing. You know what I'm saying?
For real.
Definitely.
For real. Yeah. Because it's definitely different. What we do, what I do, even what Johnny and Jerron do, are like what my brother does, plus money. Like, we do different shit, which ain't that. But it's still dope. And we can still do that, though. Like, we can still hop
still
on those
take it
style
there,
beats,
yeah.
and we can still do that type shit, too. You know, and I like to do that every now and then just to show motherfuckers that we can rhyme in that lane too, but it's just about just bringing awareness for real. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Especially for the youth. They keep listening to what they listening to. It ain't gonna be no youth left. They gonna kill each other. They already on live. Yeah, I'm right here. I'm dropping the location, and they doing what the rappers is telling them to do, and they getting killed.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
That's true.
Well,
Shit
now
is
they
crazy.
doing. That's what they doing. They doing sounds like.
They doing, yeah. I seen some shit yesterday where some youngsters was going back and forth, and one of them was flashing his pistol, and the other one dropped the location. And we like,
On live?
Yeah,
Jesus
on live.
Christ,
But they doing
man.
that, based on what's going on in Chicago and New York. And
Trying to
everywhere
keep
else.
up to
Everybody
that.
Trying to keep up with what's going on. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Which is really genocide for real.
Facts.
What keeps you in your lane though? Like you see all this other popular rap that's just popular, it makes you like blow the fuck up, right?
Yeah.
But what keeps you in your lane?
I think the information I retain for real. You know, I've always wanted to educate, if nothing else, and be heard. My goal wasn't to be like a millionaire off music or like bling bling and none of that stupid shit. It was really to be heard by as many people as I could be heard by. And I think that's always kind of been the goal. So with that, I try to just be distinct in what I say and distinct with my voice and everything else so that I do stand out when I do something. You know what I'm saying?
And you're already standing out when it comes down to your production style as well. Like we were just having this conversation, like not a lot of people on the West Coast are doing that kind of sound.
No.
You know what I mean? And so when you do it, you're already standing out in a crowd, where everybody else is doing some other shit.
Definitely. I think with production, I was blessed to like come up around dope producers before I started making beats. I was around like DJ Epic and Goldfingers.
Right, shout out to Epic, man.
Yeah, Goldfingers, Marc Knox, Track Addict, Teak and D, Hallway Productions out in Stockton. They Grammy nominated and shit now. Like when I was just an artist coming up, before I got into production, I was blessed to be around a lot of dope producers. So when I started making beats, I always told myself I didn't want to make nothing in their esque or their style. So I came up with my own shit. You know what I'm saying? Because it was like, what would I need to make shit like them for when I got them still? I wanted to make something different. I think that's how it kind of turned into what it turned into for real.
Right.
And then I've always liked sample beats growing up. Like keyboard beats is cool. I know how to play a little bit and all of that, but the shit that's always grabbed me, even as a kid, was sample beats.
Sample
you know
beats.
what I'm saying?
Yeah, me too.
Yeah, they just sound different.
Yeah, it does. It's a whole different, pocket,
People
man.
like, why you sample all the time? I'm like, bro, I like the way samples sound. You know what I'm saying? Especially if you know how to EQ them and do shit with them. Like, I don't know.
Yeah, and what you do with them is crazy because you're on the MP,
Yeah.
right?
Mm-hmm.
You don't know.
Kind of looks like this a little bit.
Right. You got the MP1 though. You got
Yeah.
right. You got the standalone joints.
Yeah.
I saw the standalone joints work the other day. My homie Tootie, shout out to Tootie, came through one night and he brought the MPC live.
The live is similar.
The live is similar.
The only reason I didn't get the live, right, because they do the same shit, but the live, the placement of the pads and the screen
throws me
was
off,
weird,
too.
So I couldn't.
But the speaker that it had was dope.
Yeah, it does come with a speaker.
It does come with a
but-
pretty dope speaker.
Yeah, I mean, you could just Bluetooth the shit though.
You're right.
You know what I'm saying?
You're right. You're right.
Like at this point, it was gonna. I felt like it would have fucked my workflow up. Cause it's like I'm working over here, but then I gotta.
You
go
got the
over
you
here,
got the
and-
freaking screen
Yeah,
right
it's
here.
like having a screen on top of where I'm working, so I'm kind of like comfortable in that little box.
Right.
Call it the little box, you know what I mean, the MPC one, cause it's a little smaller than what I was accustomed to using. I was on a 2500 before that, which is kind of like that shit like a VCR,
A little bit more, yeah.
You know what I mean?
A little bit more bigger.
But I started with an MPC 1000. Started with the 1000. Kind of learned how to use that. Shout out to Marc Knox. He showed me a lot of shit when I was first learning. And then I got a 2000 XL. Actually, the homie Justin from Fireworks let us borrow his XL, and I kind of got familiar with it. And then I ended up buying my own XL. So I went to the XL from the 1000, and then from the XL, I used a 5000 for a minute. It crashed. 5000 is
Shit.
trash. I would never get an MPC 5000.
Had to go up.
And then I got a 2500, and then I kept the 2500 for a long time. I like just recently got off the 2500 and got on the one. But the 2500 was like the best of both worlds. It was like they took the 4000, which was like a good MPC, but just too big for me and had too many
Right.
buttons. And they took like the XL and just like combined them into one.
The XL looks dope to me.
The XL is dope, right? And it still has some of the best sound that you could possibly get from an Akai device, but it's limited in sampling time. You only gonna
What's
have
the sample time?
Like 45 seconds.
Oh
You
shit.
might have like I think even with the extended time, it's like 2.5 minutes.
Damn.
Time total. So that means even with your drums loaded and everything, you gotta make.
You got to make it in 40. But that's the, you
I
know,
mean,
that's the
honestly,
challenge. You got to make something with that time, and
You do.
you can make some dope shit with that time because you're putting more pressure on yourself.
And that's honestly what made me better. You know what I mean? That shit definitely made me better, but I appreciate the one now because it's workflow. Like now, instead of having to like save the beat or put it in the computer and turn the MPC off and turn it back on to make another beat, like I can just make beat after
Just
beat.
keep going and keep going.
You know what I mean? Yeah. I'm
Okay.
able to just make maybe 10 beats at a time if I wanted to.
Right.
And then just boom, when I'm done with them, dump the shit in. It just keeps the workflow going better. That's really what I got it for, was the workflow.
The workflow.
Yeah.
So when are we gonna start hearing some of this production?
It's coming soon, man. The next project I did no beats on, the shit with PA Dre. The I Shot Bill Gates and all of that is on there.
Amazing producer, yeah.
But I got a few projects in the works that I finally just got back to it, really. I was making a lot of beats for a minute, and then I just recently got back into recording, I would say a few days ago. Just a rough year, man. And after I finished the Dre project probably August of last year, like August, September, and then my dad passed away in November. And when that happened, I kind of chilled for a minute. You know what I'm saying? I really didn't want to do shit till top of the year. So really me coming out to do that performance that you got was probably the first time I really did something since that November period. You know what I'm saying? So just now getting back to it, having a new space set up and everything like that, starting to feel back inspired again and get back to, recording some songs and shit. For real. You know?
Yeah, well, I'm sure I can speak for all of us when I say that we're all really excited to hear what's gonna come
Facts.
next.
I
Yeah.
appreciate that, man.
Yeah.
I mean, I heard that. It's fire. Bro.
I
Yeah.
appreciate
Is
it,
this
man.
from New York?
I get that a lot with the East Coast shit. I think that's why this next project will be so dope, because I got a lot of East Coast cats on it.
You saying that, like,
It's done.
especially the features, kind of told me off mic, but that shit got me really excited to hear that, especially if it's more sample based like that. Like,
It's like all sample based.
that's fucking perfect. That's right in my wheelhouse, bro.
Yeah, you
But it made it-
sound like a young Mos Def.
I appreciate it.
that was like, I was like, oh, okay, that's what we're doing today. All right.
I'm sure you've gotten the West Side comparisons.
Yeah, I have. I mean, and I get it. You know what I'm saying? I remember somebody had sent me the Sky Zoo shit a few years ago.
Right.
Where he had just did the hook. Somebody was like, I thought this was you. I thought this was you. And I mean, and I listen to Gun too. Gun is dope. I think it's different styles though.
Yeah, definitely.
You know what I'm saying? He kind of does what he does. We both have like a higher pitched voice though when it's time to record and
Right.
perform and shit like that. But I feel like his pitch is a little higher than mine.
Yeah,
You know what I'm saying?
I think so too.
But the content is just completely different. The
Completely
content,
different,
The
yeah.
content, the delivery,
The whole style in
wordplay,
its general is
you know what I'm
completely
saying?
different.
But but shout out to Griselda. We actually did a show with Conway and Benny. I think it was last year. No, the year before last, before the pandemic, 2019. We
Right.
did Thought Fest out there in Southern California with them.
Right.
Yeah, it was dope. We was in the IE, the Inland Empire. Yeah, they do some shit called the Happiness of Pursuit Festival out that way. Shout out to 80 East. He's actually the artist that puts it on. But they bring out all kind of motherfuckers. They do it like twice a year. Last year they did Merce, they did Benny and Conway, and they had a lot of like LA artists and like artists from that area too
Right.
that I was able to link with. And just, spread the word and link in and try and build with cats outside of the region too, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So yeah, shout out to the IE. We got some dope cats out there that we've been fucking with. Shout out Dries. Few of the other homies out that way. You know what I'm saying?
Right. Man, while I have you here, I gotta give you your flowers, man. Like the shit you do for the city and the music you put out, like
Major.
I for one, I'm a fan. I've been listening to you for a minute. Like I think Peso kind of put me on.
Yeah.
And then
C45.
yeah, man, I just kind of have to
I remember.
pay my respects.
You know what? I remember meeting you. I want to say you was working at the movie theater.
I was working at the movie
Yeah, but he
theaters.
came up to me and was like, "Yo, you Nash Boogie, I fuck with your music, wooty woo woo woo."
Yeah, but
And
did he let you in for free though?
I got him some free popcorn though.
I was just gonna get to that. And he looked out for me with the free popcorn.
All right.
I had to, man. But
came
at least
through
I
in
could do. At least I could do. But I already knew, man. I
Yeah,
just
nah,
had
that
to pay
was-
respect.
That was definitely a dope day too, man. I appreciate that, and just to see that you grow where you at now. Now you're not at the movie theater. You creating your own movies. You know
Yeah.
what I mean? You doing the podcast thing and
Appreciate it, man.
production. You know what I'm saying? You
We trying to keep up with Nash, man.
You guys over here building a movement. That's what it's about. You're supposed to take from the cats that you watch and kind of like turn that into what you got going. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
And that's really what it is, man. You building a team. You got some nice, like-minded individuals
Right.
around you. I got a nice space over here, man. I definitely see big things for y'all in the
Thanks,
future.
man.
You know what I'm saying? And that's what it's all about, like spreading this shit and then just building with like-minded individuals and moving. You feel me?
Word. You're definitely a big inspiration on that, man.
Appreciate that,
And it's a
bro.
fact.
Yeah, that's love, man. I don't get that a lot, but I definitely appreciate it. You know what I'm saying?
That's what I'm saying.
We try to just keep it moving and just keep going. Sometimes you don't look at what you've done or what you're doing until it's done. You know what I'm saying? So
Right.
definitely appreciate the acknowledgement. You know, we still got a lot more to do. This shit's
to.
not over.
Exactly.
I've been
Go ahead.
I've been showing Marc, my friend Ronan Seven, and a lot of his music,
Oh yeah.
and I know you guys know each other a little bit.
Yeah,
and
Ronan Hard.
Yeah, bro.
He's a little more out there than I am.
Yeah.
He's a fucking funny guy. Shout out to Ronan.
Yeah, he's hella fun. I've known him since 17, and
Yeah, he's a
you know we
yeah.
go back, and I tell him all the time, like, man, I can't wait till you guys on a song together.
Yeah, we had to put something together. I had to put something together. I know I'm long overdue with Johnny and Jerron too, so definitely gonna put something together. I'm back moving now, you
Sir.
know, so definitely y'all keep me in mind. Let me know. I'm ready.
For sure.
Yeah, I mean, with all that being said, I just want to thank you again for, putting that type of energy out here in the city, because I feel like it's something desperately needed. You already know the type
Yeah.
of climate that is existing out here, and, as creators of this type of work, especially with you in the realm that you're in, you're realizing, like, your actual ability to do things here.
Definitely.
And that's something that a lot of people don't even want to have the courage to do, which is, like you're staying as a model of like, nah, this is like, it is possible.
Yeah. Gotta be. You know what I'm saying? And I didn't want to. you know, and when I did it, I didn't want to come off looking like that either. You know what I'm saying? Just on some like conspiracy shit for real.
Right.
Just kind of, you know what I mean?
Your timing lined up to what everything happened, so
Yeah.
you know,
Yeah, so
it worked out.
Yeah, I definitely appreciate that. And also, you know, when I first dropped it, I know you was on it early. He wrote up like a dope little article on it, and like The Source and a few other websites like picked it up based on his article and shit. So
Oh yeah, they copied. They copied it word for word.
yeah, they
Shit.
they like
Jesus
literally-
Christ.
Yeah, they like
Whose
literally.
are we taking?
Yeah,
We gotta show up there.
that shit was crazy. But I mean, at least to get it to bigger publications was
Right.
dope. I know that shit was whack, but it was like at least to get that message to some of the bigger publications was dope. You know, and a lot of that shit was your doing. Like they was already kind of checking for the song, but when they seen the write up with it, a lot of different blogs and websites hopped on that. So
Word.
that was dope, fam. I appreciate that.
Yeah, I didn't even know all that. So like I saw that you were posting all that, but I didn't know it was like that.
Yeah.
He's about to send a really, really hard
Yeah.
email. To that. That's
We'll send him some flowers.
a hard.
But yeah, man. Look, where can people find you, man?
NashBoogie.com. That's NashBoogie.com. Social media is Nash's Empire. That's NASHISNPIRE.
Word.
That's IG, Twitter, all that.
Word.
You know, I don't really do the Facebook thing, but
Yeah, of course. No, you don't want to. And I know we didn't intro it in the beginning, but we got Alan in the building. We got Mario from We Are Sacramento.
yeah.
And unless Alan got anything else to say.
Hey, no, you know what? This is like I was saying. I didn't really have a fully thought out plan for it. It was just something I knew I wanted to do and
Yes, sir.
get the word out there.
Yeah.
'Cause, you know, like you got 60,000 views on the animated
I
video right
know.
now, so I'm trying to get that to 250.
Yeah, yeah, that would be nice.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? There's been some shit with that too. Like, we had an ad running, and like they let the shit run for a minute, and then after a minute, they were like, "This is abusive. This is." They try to make up a bunch of shit.
I was just looking at the comments and a lot of them were like, "Oh man, I can't believe this is an ad right now." That's how I found this. Like,
yeah, exactly. It ended up being an ad.
That's
and
crazy.
They let it fly for a minute, but as of lately, they're like, "This is abusive" or something. I don't know. He sent me like a long list of things it could be, and I don't know.
That's whack. That's whack.
I get it, but you know, the people I'm talking about got money too, though. So
It'd be like that.
it be like that. You know what I'm saying? We got other shit though, so whatever works, we gonna make it work regardless. I'm just glad it got out to that many people though. You know what I'm saying? For real, especially being from Sacramento. You know what I'm saying? And not doing the type of music that Sacramento's known for. You know, it definitely speaks volumes. You feel me?
Yeah, definitely does.
hey, well, thank you again, Nash, and
Yeah, we appreciate you pulling up, man.
thanks to
already
you, Marco,
know.
too, for having us here.
Anytime.
Thank you, Marc,
Appreciate
for
y'all having me, man.
Of course, man. I'm going to take us out.